In the past few hours, our Prime Minister has been given the right royal treatment by the communist dictatorship of China. Anthony Albanese has been treated like the handsome boy who has come to heel as he met with President Xi Jinping in Beijing.
This is my 8th visit to China, but my 2nd as Prime Minister, and I appreciate very much your hospitality.
And congratulations again on your re-election. Over the past 3 years, you and I met 3 times. During these meetings, we had in-depth discussions on the strategic, overarching issues critical to the direction of China-Australia relations, and we reached many common understandings.
Yeah, the old common understandings, the misunderstandings where you've got to bow to China. China punished Australia for daring to ask for a transparent and independent investigation into the origins of COVID-19, the pandemic that struck the whole world. Beijing banned some of our exports like lobster and wine, and it slapped punitive tariffs on other exports. It deliberately hurt us economically. And it has intimidated us militarily, firing flares at aircraft, sounding sonar at our Navy divers, and even sending spy ships for live firing exercises without prior warning. But instead of standing up, Australia under Albo has rolled over. It's made excuses for China, and in Beijing, the communists are well pleased, rewarding the PM with a grand 6-day visit.
I note your comments in your opening remarks about seeking common ground while sharing differences. That approach has indeed produced very positive benefits for both Australia and for China.
Yeah, all those positive benefits of just getting back onto an even keel. Just minutes beforehand, a bunch of Australian journalists got a taste of press freedom communist style when they were surrounded by security guards and told not to leave with their footage, despite having all the appropriate approvals, and Australian diplomats had to intervene. And even as the public part of the main meeting wound up, we saw the eagerness to avoid transparency.
And I thank you as well for the honour that you have given myself and Ms Hayden, my fiancée, in the lunch that we will share afterwards as well. Thank you. Shesha.
Yeah, that's how it goes in China. I've had some pretty bizarre and worrying experiences there myself over the past 30 years. But to get the Chinese perspective on all this, we only had to read the Chinese government's English language mouthpiece, the China Daily. Its headline spruiked common ground winning out over differences, and it said Albanese's visit shows that the Australian side has a clearer judgment and understanding of China than it had under the previous Scott Morrison government. In other words, Australia under Albo has kowtowed. Former Prime Minister Morrison responded to this dig by telling the Australian that having a character reference from the China Daily was never one of his foreign policy aspirations. Yes, indeed, and ScoMo told me today that he took this slight from the communist superpower as a compliment. Yeah, you don't want lavish praise from China when you lead a Western democracy. It can only be a worrying sign. And that's where Anthony Albanese is right now. This is where he's placed Australia. He can't get a meeting with US President Donald Trump, but he's being paraded around Beijing like a prize catch. Australia is a US ally being toyed with by Beijing, which is using our economic codependence as a bargaining chip with us and a way of gently challenging Washington. We have to hope that Albanese raised criticisms with President Xi, objected to the way China has hurt us economically and intimidated us militarily. We might not ever know, of course, but there were clues, I guess, when the Prime Minister fronted the media just minutes ago. Albanese was asked whether he raised the spy vessels and the live firing with President Xi, and he seemed super keen not to offend.
Yes to the former, and secondly, in response, of course, it was President Xi said that China engaged in exercises just as Australia engages in exercises.
Unbelievable. He had more to say about China's explanation than Australia's objections. And Albanese also revealed that he did not even raise the issue of the Port of Darwin, which he's promised to take out of Chinese hands.
The Liberal federal government chose to give an incentive to the Northern Territory Liberal government to flog off an asset.
Sorry to jump in. What?
None, it wasn't raised. I can't be clearer than that.
Were any issues raised by him?
I can't be clearer than to say the question I was asked was not raised.
There you go. I guess, as most of us would have predicted, it sounds like Albo merely ticked off a list of differences without strongly protesting the way Australia has been mistreated, and he avoided some touchy subjects altogether. Perhaps we'll get the best guide as to just how robust the Prime Minister has or has not been, and that'll come when we get to read the next China Daily editorial.